Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're at. I welcome you to Temazcal Yaoxoxhitl. My name is Sonaí. My sacred name is Ilhuicatl, and I'm here today to offer a little bit of a ceremony in these days when we truly need it in our hearts but are unable to gather in large groups. I know that it's something that is very important to us, and so I'd like to take this time to offer a few words, offer a few cantos, and still be connected in our hearts, even though we can't be connected in person. And so I'm going to start off by asking permission of the four directions and of all of the guardians, not only mine but yours, and all the guardians of the lands that we're lucky to stand on. Starting with the east. Abrimos pidiendo permiso del oriente. We open by asking permission from the east. El lugar de Quetzalcoatl, the place of the feathered serpent. El lugar de las ofrendas, the place of the offerings. El lugar de la luz, the place of the light. Pedimos que ilumines nuestros caminos, que nos siguen. We ask that you illuminate our paths that still need to be walked. Ometel. Asking permission of the West, the place of women. Pidiendo permiso del poniente, el lugar de las mujeres, Cihuateteo, nuestras abuelas. Aquellas que ya han pasado al otro lado y que nos ofrecen su conocimiento. We ask permission from those women that have crossed over to offer their wisdom, everything that they have learned in their lifetimes, and to be with us lovingly and to show us how to take care of ourselves. Ometel. Pidiendo permiso del rumbo del norte, asking permission from the north. El lugar de Tezcatlipoca, the place of Tezcatlipoca, the smoky mare. We ask that we're able to remember the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that we don't forget the lessons we learned when those things occurred to us or to our lineages. Ometeo. Pidiendo permiso del sur, asking permission from the south, the place of the hummingbird, el lugar de Huitzilopochtli, that gives us the vigor, the passion to take action, that elevates our hearts and gives us the fire that we need to make the road where it's not there so that other people can have an easier time to get to where they need to go. So we thank you, Huitzilopochtli, for burning that fire within Ometea. Luego, pidiendo permiso del cielo, asking permission of the sky. Thank you for showing us all your shades of light and your shades of dark. Thank you for showing us the stars and the cosmos, the sun and the moon. And thank you for bringing us much needed precipitation and weather and wind to blow away all those things that clutter our lives. Ometea. We ask permission of the earth. Sagrada Madre, Sacred Mother, thank you for your medicine, your nourishment, your transformation. We have a lot to learn from you. And during this time, let us take the time to heal her, to let her heal on her own, and to offer our sincere gratitude to all of the elements and all of the life that she provides for us. Ometea. And finally, asking permission of our own hearts. That little drum that keeps us going, that shows us that we can love each other and we can forgive each other. Thank you, heart, for keeping me alive, for allowing me to connect with others, and for giving me the strength that I need to move forward in my path. Thank you for being here in this sacred space with me right now. I know that this is somewhat unconventional times, and so we have to seek unconventional ways to connect. And I'm sorry I haven't been here sooner. I was hesitant. I wasn't sure how the medicine was going to touch other hearts, but now I know more than ever that it's really important that we take back our ceremonies, because that's where we'll find strength to get through this time. And so I'd like to start with a song, offering some water to the abuelos. We made rosemary tea for them. We hope they like it. To our grandmothers that came from the volcanoes, to give them thanks, we offer gratitude. we know that not all of us have access to a temazcal, but we always have access to our hearts, and that's where the medicine is. So what you can do at home is you can even make your own romero tea. You can just let it steam your entire home, starting with your kitchen, which is the heart of the home. And so it will still have its medicinal properties. It won't lose them. You can still work with these sacred medicines in your own homes. You can still build your sacred altars. It could have water in the south, wind in the east, obsidian in the north, and earth in the west. And something that I feel is important to speak about is how important it is to connect to these gifts, whether if it's honey or fruit. Our ancestors want us to experience joy. We owe it to them because they really put so much work and so much suffering into our survival, into our lineages making it to this point. And so for us to be overtaken by desperation, it's natural, but remember that you come from very strong lineages and you need to take care of it by being sweet to yourself, by forgiving yourself. During this time, a lot of us are trapped at home, and so it's forcing us to work things out within the household with our loved ones. Sometimes our words come like the wind. Sometimes it comes really harsh and fast, and other times it's very slow and soft, and so we need to be aware of how that affects others. And so that's something that I think truly comes from the lesson of the Atekokoli. The Atekokoli is, a lot of times, it can represent multiple elements. It can represent the wind, but it can also represent the water. It could also represent la palabra, the word, el canto, el rezo, the song, the prayer. And so our words are a way to communicate our needs, but they should also be used to give thanks as well. And so I'd like to continue with another canto, if you give me permission to do so. This canto is about very difficult tests that life puts in front of us and how we're not alone when we face these tests. Danzan, los años danzan y el camino nos pone pruebas, pruebas de fuego, pruebas, duras batallas y desiciones. Hey, yana, hey, ya, hey, yana. don't know if you can hear that sound. The sound of the water hitting the hot rocks, the vapor coming up. A lot of times we like to refer to it as the canto de los abuelos. Atlachinali, which is when water and fire come together and create life, much like ours. Damos gracias a ustedes, abuelas, por siempre estar aquí antes y después de que nos vayamos de este lugar. We give them thanks for always being here, not only before but after we have left this place. I'd like to continue and face my direction of the north in this large obsidian piece that Julie is allowing us to use in this space. Much like a lot of my colleagues have and compadritos and comadritas have talked about in this Temazcal, this time is a time of reflection, a time of introspection, and an opportunity for us to truly get to know ourselves and look inside. And I think that with anything quote unquote bad that happens to us, there's always a lesson to be learned. And if we don't learn those lessons, they'll come back. Those things will come back and they'll force us one way or another. And so even though it's difficult, I think that it's important that we open our eyes to those things that we don't want to see, that we are aware of things that we don't want to be aware of, that we remember things that we don't want to remember, and that we experience this together and come out stronger together. Let us remember that the virus is also something made by Mother Earth. Finally, this invisible to us being has come to her defense, and she needed it. She really did. She's healed so much during these days that we haven't been out and about. And it's truly a lesson for us to slow down. We need to slow down. We need to make our own food again. We need to reevaluate where our values stand. And so I'm not here to lecture. I'm just here speaking from my heart. But I think this is a very important time. Some very important lessons will be learned. Some of them will be painful, but not everything is forever. Everything ends. And with that, I'd like to also offer a canto toward the north. Trying to think of a good one. Let's see. All I could think is of this song, and for some reason I have to sing it. Corazones de fuego And so when you all are ready to come back, know that you're welcome. Your heart of fire, corazón de fuego, is welcome to come into the Temazcal and to face that very difficult direction, which is the self. And so each in our own way, we can be in our own Temazcal. It doesn't have to be in something that's built. It can be in our dark room. We could just sit with ourselves in silence in the dark and truly do that very essential work that we do here in community by yourself. And you're never alone, ever. I'd like to offer a little bit more medicine, water to the abuelas. And what's strange about this is that the Temazcal could potentially help us a lot during this time. But because we can't be near each other, it's too risky. But there's still a lot that we can do, like I said. Even if it means singing a song to the water that you use to drink, to cook. You can put your intentions in that water, or even if it's the water that you use to water your plants. You can also connect with the water that we have here in New Mexico, the acequias, the arroyos, the river. Normally this weekend we would have celebrated San Isidro, where we offer songs and flowers and seeds to the waters that nourish our communities. And even though we weren't able to do it together this year, we can still do it on our own, in our own way. So next time you walk by an arroyo, or if you decide to go to the river, offer some tobacco. You can offer some flowers, seeds, cornmeal, a song, or even a prayer, so that that water continues to flow and not stagnate. We can also pray for ourselves and ask for the water within ourselves to continue flowing, because stagnation creates sickness, and we already have enough on our plate. So we give thanks to the water, that sacred life source that remembers, that has been here longer than us, that will be here once we're gone. We give you thanks. Sacred element of water. So I'd like to offer a water song about the different water elements, specifically to honor Ilhuicatl, who was the spirit that the midwives used to pray to when they would clean their babies, and to cleanse it of any sort of bad karma that it's inherited, but also to cleanse its heart, so that it has an easier time traversing the world. And so I'd like to close this short or somewhat long ceremony that we've embarked on. And thank you for being here with me, for trusting me with this space. And, I know that, like I said, this is very unconventional, and so surely there will be some of us that will disagree with these ways, but these are just the times that we're living in, and so we have to figure out a way to share medicine one way or another, and this is just one of those ways. And so I give you thanks to Nancy, my fire keeper. Thank you to Julie for allowing us to use Yaoxoxhitl, the sacred womb. And also I'd like to thank my lineage, my guardians, and all of my elders and teachers that have helped me understand this world in this way. And so just one last piece of advice is let us pray during this time. And let us be on the alliance. Let's be on the Earth's alliance. Let's be on her side. Because to be on her side is to be on the virus's side. And to be on the virus's side, it's to be one with something that is shaping our lives, but also, how can I say this? We need to respect it, and we need to really take into consideration all the lessons that it's teaching us. And for that, even though it's a very hard and trying time, I'm thankful for it too, because without it, there would have been no way for us to truly understand. And so I pray for all of you. I pray for your loved ones. I pray that we'll be able to embrace our moms and our grandmothers and our friends. I can't wait to hug you all and to be in ceremony with you all, to share in all of the elements. Ometeo, I love you.